That's the sound of the helicopters fleeing Afghanistan. And that is the sound of explosions in the sky, but not Americans. Not Americans. What's up, guys? It's 9:02 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time here in Los Angeles. Back in Los Angeles. It's Monday, August 16th, 2021, the year of our Lord, 2021, AD, Anno Domini. And it's Monday, I have new music for you. It is still Men's History Month. Last week, what did I play? Stavesacre. Pretty manly band, at least it sounds like it. It's a good imitation, right? And the week before that, I played Stretch Armstrong. So what was the next most manliest band I could think of? I'm not exactly sure, but for some reason, I've wanted to play this for a couple of weeks now. 121 is the group. I think they're from Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. And they are Christians, or they were Christians in this band. And this first song is called Morality. Morality. Let's be a part of this moral fashion show. Is their sarcastic opening line. It is a punk rock band, kind of. So boomers, bear with me. It is only 2 or 3 minutes long. I hope you enjoy it. Those of you who won't, just mute it. And we'll play, hopefully, the lyrics on the screen so you can follow along, because he does kind of slur his words together and he's shouting. And in my opinion, it is beautiful. But maybe I have corrupted, subverted taste in music. So enjoy Morality from the band 121. O-N-E, number 2, number 1. 121. And it's from the 1998 album, When the Dragon is Finally Laid to Rest. Enjoy Morality by 121.
To improve yourself, what does it profit you if you set your goals to gain the world but lose your soul? Never shoot up, never drink and drop, but I hate to be there when your bubbles pop. Righteous acts like filthy rags, wicked hearts to bloodstained hands. Like strong always and so. I want to earn my own way. Something I can't do. But I say that Jesus' name. Maybe we can fool everybody and they'll never know. When I'm perfect, maybe we can fool ourselves. If we're good, then we can make it. Well, can you live a perfect life? How will you know what's right and wrong? How can you cry morality if you don't know the God rules the law? Let's see my work so that no man can boast. Let's pay the price with his life on the cross. Let's save my work so that no man can boast. Let's pay the price with his life on the cross. Morality without Christ eventually has its price. Morality without Christ eventually has its price. Morality without Christ eventually has its price. Morality without Christ eventually has its price.
That's right. Thank you guys for bearing with me through that. Some of you guys are like, can I unmute now? Right-wing rancid. Well, I don't even know if these guys are right-wing, honestly. Not sure. But anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show!
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how are you guys doing? I am fine. I see that you all loved that music. Asmodor says, that was rough. Crazy Mother Dan says, I'm a boomer and I never listened to this garbage. Sounds more like Metallica or Poison. James, your music is awful. I don't think it sounds quite like Metallica or quite like Poison. But thank you, Crazy Mother Dance. At least Hake is aware that no one likes his music, says Nilla Thriller. TTT, what's up, man? Nice to see all of you guys at the men's conference or outside of it in the case of the ladies and the children, young girls and babies who did not attend the men's conference proper. Uncle Ted 88 says, thank God, perfect timing. I don't know what's worse, 121 or Hassan, says Shaggy Boy. That's uncharitable. Hassan, shout out to Hassan, the sand N-word guy. And asterisk Inca. Who performed at the men's conference. And shout out to, I met Shaggy Boy, Skip over there. I met TTT. I met, man, so many of you guys. Steven Absolution. Joel Never Did That. I met, what's that? John Stamos. Tex-Mex. By the way, I'm wearing a t-shirt from He White and from Tex-Mex. Thank you guys for the birthday gift, the birthday greetings. Thank you to Skip. Skip is on the line already for the pig's feet. Unfortunately, I didn't get to taste it. I wasn't thinking. Had I been thinking, Matt living the dream, Matt the American, brought me something and we had it together, had some of that together. I should have thought about it and run and got the pig's feet. I don't know if I would have been able to do it because I had to lock it away in a place I didn't really have access to. Man, but I passed it along. I was able to pass that along to Esteban. And shout out to the guys helping out, making it happen. The JLP's PR man who organized the event. And also, Esteban. You guys met Esteban? Those of you who went? He helped out big time. Of course, skateboard white Chris. No mustache this time. No mustache. And all you guys, oh my gosh. So many people. Hake's snake pit security guard. I met him before. And all you guys. That was cool. I don't like gay parties, says Jupiter. It was not a gay party. Or maybe he's referring to something else. But anyway, that was cool. Thank you to the state of Florida and the governor of Florida for making it somewhat reasonable. Somewhat reasonable. We had an excellent church with Jesse Lee Peterson. Apologies for the, little bit of sound issues there, but as usual, you guys are used to it. And we did the best that we could, and we're always improving. Always improving. I can't imagine an Arab being funny, but maybe he was. I don't know. Oh, yeah, referring to Kayvon. Kayvon. I couldn't tell that he was any bit Arab, but I'll take his word for it. Kayvon. That was cool to see him again, too. Very nice. Let me actually get to Skip in Augusta, Georgia. He has a men's conference story. I was able to go swimming over there. Swimming. Got a little bit of exercise. Very cool. Skip in Augusta, Georgia. How are you doing?
Hey, James Hake, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you great. Are you back in Augusta?
Yeah, I didn't stick around much longer after the church service.
Yeah.
Because I knew it was going to be a long drive, and I was
Yep.
tired and wore out already. So I didn't want to fall asleep driving, so I busted on out right after the church service.
Same here.
But look here, me and Jesse had a talk this weekend about your music, and he feels the same way I do about it, I believe. So he's supposed to have a talk to you about that music, or
Okay.
so-called music.
Nice.
I know he's probably tired and everything because that was an exhausting weekend, and but I hope he'll get to you about it this week sometime, and we can see a little bit of difference maybe, because that stuff is awful, James Hake. What's the name of that band?
That
you
was
just
one
played?
you spelled out ONE and then like a dot or a hyphen 21 or maybe sometimes a colon 121. It may have to do with Philippians 121. What's Philippians 121? I'm not sure.
Well, what was the name of the song?
Oh, that was called Morality. And it had Christian or at least biblical lines in it. It says, no man is good, and righteousness like filthy, righteous acts like filthy rags. Oh, yeah, Philippians 1:21, for to me to live is Christ and to die is gain. So they are a Christian band. They may be more of like a Judeo-Christian band because they have all this. I think those guys are like the last names are Klein, and they're from Philadelphia. So they might be kind of liberals, like let's all be united and diverse and stuff like that. But when I was in high school, I really enjoyed their energy, especially. And the lyrics were positive, like they were self-critical and stuff like that. So I liked them. It wasn't exactly as fun as, it wasn't as heartfelt maybe as 90-Pound Wuss. But yeah,
Well,
121.
I felt it all right when you was playing it. But, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Well, look, I want to say this first, James. It was an honor to meet you and Chris and Daniel and Nick, and I got a chance to spend time and Jesse too, and the women at Bond.
Yeah.
I got a chance to interact and spend time with all y'all, and it was just fantastic. And
I felt the
people-
same way. I felt the same way meeting you and all the rest of the people too.
Several people this weekend that made the comment, and I'm right with them 100%. It was just like we knew each other for years. It was like a family reunion. you
Yeah.
know? Even though we hadn't actually met, and it was so awesome to be able to put people's faces to their handles or their names in the chat.
Yeah. True.
Oh man, that's you. It was just so cool.
Yeah.
And to be able to hang out, and we all got along because we're all like-minded.
Right. My favorite was meeting
every-
John Stamos. That was cool. I never
John
imagined
Stamos.
that was John Stamos. Never would have guessed
Well,
it.
Isn't that the actor's name that played in that sitcom
Yes.
with the three girls and the other guy?
Full House. Yeah, he was the
Full
cool.
House,
He
that's
was
it.
Uncle Jesse, I believe. He was the cool uncle.
Yep, that's right.
I didn't
that's
know that
right.
the father was such a degenerate. Man.
Really?
Yeah.
He's the one that later on went on to do the funny video thing, wasn't he?
Yeah, he became America's Funniest Home Videos guy, which that was cool.
Yeah.
But then I saw him,
Yeah.
well, I hate to admit that I watched Half Baked. I saw him in Half Baked, and I saw him in other stuff, and he just became kind of vulgar. But maybe he was always
Really?
like that, and that's maybe what made it kind of funny that he was the Full House dad, because it was so, like, somewhat wholesome, we thought.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I think what that is, them Jews are sneaky. Hate. They're real
True.
sneaky.
Yeah.
The Jews are, and they got him in that show Full House, and people started thinking of him as being that wholesome father,
Yeah.
and then we can't think of him any kind of other way, and then they just started busting out the evil in him later on,
Yeah. And those two
So mine-
twin daughters too,
mine-
they're kind of a mess too. Was it the
they
Olsen
They
twins?
were in the media for a while.
Yeah.
They ain't too wholesome. I don't think neither one of them sing in the choir.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But it was awesome meeting all of y'all.
Yeah.
But I tell you something. I tell you something that really stuck out to me at that men's conference. I met a lot of people there. I met so many people, but there was just one man, and he had a son with him. I guess he might have been about 9 years old or 10. He wasn't no older than that. And we sat at the table and we talked, and we included the son in the conversation the whole time. It was just us three talking. And every time I would look over and talk to his son, he would look me dead in the eye, and he was paying attention. And he would shake my hand like a man would.
Yeah.
And he'd give me a firm grip, and he'd look me in the eye. And that's what a real man does. When you shake a man's hand, you look him in the eye when you're shaking his hand.
Yeah.
But,
that's cool.
but
A well-trained young man. I saw
Yes,
a lot
he
of
is.
father-son pairs, and that was cool. Nice to see.
It really was. But y'all had the VIP before the men's conference started.
Yeah.
Okay, well, him and his son went up there,
Okay.
and for the VIP, and y'all passed out a little bag that had the video of Uncle Tom in it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, well, they came back down, and they come over to me, and the boy's daddy said, my son's got something he wants to give you. He said, we was up at the VIP, and they give us this bag, and it's got a copy of the Uncle Tom movie in it. And he said his boy said, Daddy, we already got a copy of this movie. How about we give it to Skip? Will that be okay? And I thought that was the coolest thing in the world,
Yeah. Was that
brought
that white young man? That little white young man with light brown hair?
I can't. He was a young man. He was young enough to have a young son. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
The son was blonde headed.
Okay.
And but it was just so cool. He came over there to me and he gave me wanted me to have that Uncle Tom CD.
Yeah.
So I thought about it Sunday morning when I woke up, how cool that was. And I'd given Jesse a bag with a jar of pig feet,
Yeah.
and two cans of potted meat, and I give him some footy socks that's got rebel flags on them.
Nice.
And I had an extra pair that I didn't put in there, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna give him to that boy, and because that was so nice of him giving me that Uncle Tom film.
Yeah.
'Cause usually kids are greedy usually when they're that age, and they don't want to give nothing away, whether they got one of them or 10 of them.
Right.
But he had a good personality, and yes sir, every time I say something, it was yes sir this, yes sir that. But to see somebody, to see all the, like you said, there were several dads and sons there, to see them take the time to bring their children to a men's conference and teaching them the right way, that gives you hope for the future generation. You know what, Hake?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. He'll be a good example.
Yeah, and that'll be something that they can that they'll always remember and can reflect back on. That'll make good memories for the boy. You know it?
Yeah, for sure.
But it was awesome. But I heard Jesse talking about the sons and the fathers there this weekend, and I just wanted to call and share that little story because, I would really love to be able to meet that boy in about 10 years when he's a teenager or a young adult and see how he turned out, because I guarantee you he's on the right path right now to be a good young man.
Definitely. That is cool,
Yeah.
man. I appreciate it, Skip. It's great to hear from you.
Yes, sir, Hake, and you're doing a good job, and I hope Jesse gets time to talk to you about that music. And,
All right.
And like I say, it was great meeting all you guys, and y'all don't try to be superstars. None of y'all. I mean, y'all don't try to be TV personalities. Y'all just as laid back and cool. I mean, you're regular people, and you know you're regular people. You don't try to put yourself up on no podium.
Right.
I mean, y'all are just cool as a cucumber. I feel like I know y'all for 20 years.
Nice.
And y'all spent time to talk to everybody. You know, it wasn't just like, you know, brushing you off or whatever. You know, I went outside to smoke a cigarette one time, and I told Daniel, I said, I know you don't smoke, but come on out here and talk with me.
Nice.
He walked on out there with me. We sat outside and had the best conversation. But the people that didn't get to come this year, I hope you really go next year because it's well worth it. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I agree, man. And I saw people who had flown in for just our monthly men's forums from like Detroit and Atlanta and elsewhere in
Right.
Georgia and Alabama and stuff. And it was cool to see everybody. And there were people who don't even participate in the chat who've been listening to us for years, or who, even some of whom just found us. And there were some honorable, respectable men and women there too. So that was cool.
It really was, Hake. And I met several people too that I'd always ask them, "Are you in chat?" And several of them said, "No, I'm not in the chat, but I listen all the time."
Yeah.
I had one guy come up to me, kind of scared me, snuck up behind me. I wasn't looking for him, and he said, "Look at here." And I turned around. He said, "I heard your voice a little while ago." And I told my wife, I said, "That's look at here right there. That's Skip."
Nice.
And I talked to him, and he said, asked me, was he in chat? He said, "No, I don't go into chat. I think he works or something doing the show."
Yeah.
But he said, "When I heard your voice, I know who you was." But it's amazing how many people come there, and we were all like-minded. There wasn't no arguments going on. There wasn't no disagreements, no debates about anything.
Yeah.
I mean, we all just got along. It was like a family reunion.
Nice.
And I look forward to next year. I know it's going to be in California, but or unless y'all change something in between. But I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to try my best to make it next year.
Sounds good, Skip. I appreciate it, man.
All right. I'll talk with you later, James Hake.
All right. And keep up the work so that you can be walking next time. That would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be the plan, would it? You know, because every time we go to eat, y'all, I know one time, every time we go to eat, it was across the street.
Right.
That wasn't too bad. But one time y'all got to walking, kept on walking and walking and walking. I'm like, dang, I'm going to have to call me an Uber. I don't know where y'all going to.
Yeah. Yep.
And I couldn't get Matt the American. I tried to pull him out of him a couple of times into pushing my wheelchair for me, so I wouldn't have to push it or wheel myself. And he let me know real quick he wasn't going to push that wheelchair.
Nice.
But we had a good time, and I really enjoyed it, all y'all. And I'll let you go because I know you got so many calls, and a lot of people want to talk to you. But it was great. It was really great meeting you, Hake.
You as well, Skip. Appreciate it, man.
All right.
Take care.
Yes, sir. And I'll talk with you later.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Big Bump says, it was great meeting Skip. That's right. You guys met Big Bump? That was cool. And Bible Go-To guy gave a super chat over here on Streamlabs. He says, "Listen, James, as we do to your music, I tune in to listen to your show, and that includes whatever music selections you want to play." Some people dispute that it is even music. "I can play my preferred music all day, any day, as often as I want. I find it very humorous and interesting to see what type of music you grew up liking." Indeed. So did my family, honestly. "I'm not a great fan of country and western music, but I'm becoming more so after listening to Jesse on Tuesday. So maybe after listening to your selections, I'd be more inclined to smash my guitar and jump off a stage, get the juices flowing." Nice. Very nice. Someone gave a super chat on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report and said, "Hake, traveling to and from the men's conference, a.k.a. also known as Hakes on a Plane." That's right. Crazy. I never watched that movie. Snakes on a Plane? It was made by a snake, am I right? Man, it's hard to even look at that guy. Who's that guy? Who's that actor? Samuel L. Jackson. It's hard to even look at that man because he's just smeared his own name by getting all political and evil. Keyword evil. Quickly, before I get back to calls, I want to share with you a few headlines or tweets, pictures from Twitter that I came across. As you may be familiar with this man who appeared at, I think he's appeared at some events put on by Bond or the J.C. Lee Peterson, the town halls and things like that. Anomaly. He's appeared on the JLP show over the years, multiple times. He put out some screenshots of stuff that turned out to be fake news regarding what's going on with this virus thing that there's a whole lot of hype about. A whole lot of hype about this virus, which I call the commie virus, Chinese/commie virus. And I don't mean the Chinese communists. I mean the communists, domestic communists here in America. Enemies of America within America. And enemies of people's own countries, ruining their countries for them. CNN tweeted this out, headline, and I don't know when exactly it was, but it is definitely a headline from CNN. I don't believe that this is photoshopped or manipulated. Dr. Fauci, fake news Fauci. Dr. Fauci, the U.S.'s leading infectious disease expert. Leading in terms of what? In terms of he gets the most pay in the government? From the government? From the taxpayers? Or from the whatever, the Fed or something? Says that he doesn't foresee a China virus vaccine mandate. If someone refuses the vaccine in the general public, then there's nothing you can do about that. You cannot force someone to take a vaccine, he says. And there he is. Fake news Fauci. And then he's advocating for, he and his fellow old man, advocating for vaccines. Look at that man. Did you know that he's in his 80s? That is sort of interesting to me every time I think about that. He's still a weasel, though. A weasel. Communist Nonsense Network. Communist Nonsense Network, CNN. Insider. I think that's short for Business Insider. Here's a headline from them. Fake news, Rochelle Walensky, scared CDC director. Rochelle Walensky. A woman. And I use that term loosely. She's not an honorable woman, in my opinion. And I think my opinion is based on the facts, based on the truth. CDC director says data suggests that vaccinated people do not carry the virus. And I saw a man from the Red Elephants, formerly known as the Red Elephants, tweeted out a video of this woman saying that. And this was from March of this year. March 30th of this year. She says, the data suggests, and common experience is suggesting that vaccinated people do not carry the virus. But now, just a few months later, indeed, Fauci said that people who have gotten the vaccine, the so-called vaccine, they changed the definition in order to call this a vaccine still. The mRNA shot, because it changes your DNA or RNA, ribonucleic acid, deoxyribonucleic acid. 7th grade science. They carry just as much viral load, although they don't have as bad of symptoms, supposedly. And yes, so they do carry it. And there is speculation out amongst the so-called experts that the virus is mutating to get around the vaccine and still infect people. The so-called vaccine. Crazy, huh? It's wild what's going on. It's wild what's going on in Afghanistan. I can't help but laugh about it, even though it's evil what's happening. It's so predictable. That guy is such a weak male. Sleazy Joe, Sleepy Joe. He is sleazy too. And so it's going crazy. If you read Hake News or listened to Hake News, you haven't read it because I haven't put it out yet. But if you listened to the news or heard about it yourself, Afghanistan, all for naught. All for naught. What a mess. Terrible mess. Let me quickly get to Matt, the American, calling in from Indiana, I do believe. I'm assuming that he's already back in Indiana. I don't know for sure. Matt, the American, how are you?
Hey.
Hey.
I'm doing well, James. How are you?
Doing well as well. Nice to hear from you, man.
Oh, no, we're not in Indiana. We're in Gainesville, Florida. We still got about 13, 14 hours left.
Okay. But originally from
Well,
Indiana.
Yes. We're on our way. We might make a pit stop or two on the way back. We don't know yet. We just no plans.
Okay.
Just play it by ear. So I just want to say when we pulled up at the hotel and we got out, Esteban was standing out there, so he was the first one we seen.
Nice.
And then we walk in. We walk in after 14, 15 hours in a truck, and looking all raggedy. And there you are. There you and Chris are standing in the lobby.
Wow.
And yeah, we just got there. You were there,
and we had just gotten there too.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was just meant to be.
Yeah.
Funny how things work out like that, right?
Yeah.
So like Skip was saying, it was like a family reunion.
Yeah.
Pretty much, and it was amazing to hang with you. It was all my honor to sit out at the pool, have the chats. I mean, that night you took off at 2, but Big Bump, shout out to Big Bump. We closed the pool down, got some Denny's about 4 in the morning.
Wow.
Big Bump, Victoria. Nick was out there too. The gentleman met so many people there, I couldn't keep the names straight.
I know.
But, the gentleman from Baltimore that ran for Congress.
Giovanni.
Yeah,
Giovanni Patterson, I believe.
Giovanni,
Jova.
Giovanni.
And I.
Right on. Yes. That is one. That's one solid guy.
Yeah.
Just got to say it was a blast, family reunion. And I got for the chats, JOP and Hake, y'all got a year to save up your money to make it to the next men's conference. You do that 10%, put it back so you can invest. All you got to do is take 1%, 2% more, put it in a different account, mark it men's conference.
Nice.
Don't touch it. It'll cover everything.
True.
Because you don't want to miss the next one.
Yeah.
Because this was amazing. And I know that on Sunday church was streamed, but you cut it off, and church was 4 hours.
Yeah.
It was 4 hours. It was amazing. I want to give a shout out. It was all my honor. I ran around and was doing reporting on the road, street, or whatever you want to call it. And you guys were just so accessible. It was just like, family.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. Joel didn't do that. Stephen Absolution.
Yeah.
The Rooftop Korean was amazing. I just don't have words for it. I mean, you just got to be there. So take an extra 1%, 2%, add it on to your 10% that you're putting back, and just mark it men's conference.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, then you don't have no excuses. But
Yep.
Big Bump, man, we closed that pool down. It was amazing.
That is cool.
Nick, Chris, shout out to White Chris. Yeah, like Jesse always says, it's just Jesse. I mean, I can imagine Jesse's tired. I couldn't imagine it because I seen Jesse and walking through the pool area yesterday. I think it was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 or 5, and then he's on the show in the morning.
Yep, that's wild.
So, you guys deserve the rest, and it was just amazing. I'm speechless. It was great.
Well, I appreciate you, man.
Chat. Oh yeah, I appreciate you, James. It was amazing. I won't take up no more of your time. I'll just keep on rambling on. But the main point is save that money so you can get down to the next one, wherever it's going to be.
Nice.
Because you don't want to miss it. so many people there like-minded, and it was great. The networking was, man, I think I got like 50 or 60 phone numbers. It was just crazy.
Yeah.
I felt so blessed that we were a part of it. So, and then my son, he was like, yeah, Dad, I think you said he was in the elevator with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, Dad, family reunion. You're right. It's like, you might call him Uncle Hake.
He's cool.
And yeah, it was amazing.
I'm kind of glad we didn't end up racing in the swimming pool, though.
I don't know. I mean, he is pretty long.
Yeah. He's like, I felt like I was standing next to Barron Trump. 15 years old, 6'7".
Yeah. Well, he's 17 and 6'6", but
nice.
You know, they don't stop growing until they're 21 like that. So
yeah.
So we will see that. Yeah, big bumps. It was amazing. It was good times. We'll do it again. I got a phone in front of me with chat, and I'm on another one. So, oh yeah, the credit solutionist.
Yeah,
that was amazing. Yeah. So just hanging out, having breakfast with you, and then last night we went up to the Bahamas, some restaurant down the street from the hotel.
Okay, Bahama Breeze.
Bahama Breeze, and we had dinner down there and talked with the credit solutionist, and I don't want to get her, Adrian, I think.
Yeah.
Was her name?
Yeah, Adrian. Yep.
So yeah, it was Tex-Mex.
Tex-Mex. Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. So we'll be back to the next one, God willing. The creek can rise. We got a boat. Know how to swim.
Right
on. Looking forward to it. Just looking forward to it. It was like family.
Yeah.
So.
Well, cool, man. Appreciate you, man.
All right. I appreciate you guys. It was all my honor meeting y'all. And Nick, get some rest.
I know. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Matt. Take care.
You too. We'll talk to you guys later.
That sounds good.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Stephen Will says Bob Saget is the comedian and an actor. He's going to act nice and rude for whatever they want him to be. He does stand-up comedy. He's not. Says that he's not a degenerate. I don't know, Stephen Will, but thank you, man. Bob Saget was the guy. What a shame. I think it's kind of degenerate to say what he said. Never mind. I don't want to even get into that movie. Yeah, Giovanni Patterson was talking about the horrific stuff going on in the city of Baltimore. A poorly run mess. A total mess. Reminds me of South Africa, how just they're botching everything. Reminds me of America. I'm sorry, this is America. What, this is not America? Sleazy Joe Biden, a weak male, not a man, and then chaos goes wild. Chaos goes wild. Here in America, it is happening. It's not really reported that much. And, of course, in Afghanistan, it is... Do I have a picture of that insurrection that took place in Afghanistan? The overthrow of the government that actually took place? It was a little bit... This photograph is a little bit reminiscent of the photographs of the so-called insurrectionists at the Capitol, none of whom were charged with insurrection or whatever crime like that you can accuse a true patriot of. The Taliban, this is from the Epoch Times. The Taliban enters the Afghanistan presidential palace and declares victory as the Afghan president flees. Apparently this guy fled on Sunday. This president, his name is still this. He's no longer the president. Ashraf Ghani. He spoke in the parliament in Kabul, Afghanistan, August 2nd. Kabul is a city of 6 million people. 6 million people in Kabul. No longer, though. Whole bunch of people fled. Whole bunch of people fled to Kabul thinking, oh, America's there. America's there. They won't let stuff go wild. Oh, yes, we will. Oh, yes, we will. Somebody pointed out that when the guy's rifle is pointing at the main dude. That's true. Over this funny picture, sitting at the executive desk of this president, these guys, looking kind of hokey. Sand people. Sand strangers. They just took over. They took over various different cities, and they took over in the place and sent kind of like what happened in America, honestly. Sent the real president packing. What a shame. And that's the Taliban, but I mean, they're from that area, right? They have an interest, and they're the men or the imitation men of that area. And no longer is this fake reality going to be enforced where they have this women's rights stuff. That is a shocking reality, I bet, to some. Because the establishment, the world leadership establishment enforces women's rights and freedoms. And then all of a sudden, when they're not protected by the men, the American men, they're back to where they were. I thought the women were powerful. But no. They need the men, the white knight men, the rainbow knight men. It's just, I say rainbow knight because the Western so-called men who are protecting the women's rights in these foreign countries are not standing up for what's right. It's a false imitation of what's right. It is just like what you heard the Crusades were, right? Oh, we're spreading Christianity by force. Oh, it's so terrible. Excuse me. When I talk like that, I make my throat itch. But what happens is we're spreading this secularist fake notion of, democracy, freedom, LGBTQIQ human rights, women's rights. So phony. The world is so phony. You guys saw Jacinda Ardern and the UN are urging Taliban restraint on women, according to Reuters. Jacinda Ardern is that woman, female prime minister. What an embarrassment. Over there in New Zealand, I want to say, and in Christchurch, New Zealand. Can you imagine there were mosques in Christchurch, New Zealand? So this Australian guy went over and shot up the mosques in Christchurch, New Zealand a few years ago. Brenton Tarrant, something like that. And he was an eco-fascist. He believed in, oh gosh, the world is overpopulated. It's not good for the environment. And who's overpopulating it? Not the whites. The whites are a declining population. Negative population growth, I think, is what's happening. And I have some callers who are joyful about that, honestly. Evil. And so he overreacted and went and tried to start an attack on the Second Amendment here in America by doing a shooting over in New Zealand. And she went in to the mosque with a head rag on. Jacinda Ardern, what a joke. And she's living with a live-in partner, boyfriend guy. And I think she just had a kid by him. Evil. Female. And so there's this fake religion being pushed around the world and in America, and it is sick. And so reality setting back in, as the men in America are no longer leading. It's back to phony Joe Biden. By the way, I mentioned the word stranger. Just a quick thing to show you guys. I thought this was mildly interesting. I have more on these females. Samantha Power, remember that name? I'm going to talk about her a little bit. But this was retweeted by Jesse Lee Peterson, JLP Talk on Twitter, and I happened across it. Patrick Baseman. Don't know who that is exactly, but he said, new description just dropped. Description for suspects. You know how they don't want to say a black male when a black male does a crime because a whole lot of black males doing crimes, and that feeds the, what is that thing? Stereotype. Oh, it's the media making this stereotype of black male criminals. They suppress it. They suppress it. But anyway, new description just dropped. It used to be teens. Teen. But it's not always teens. Sometimes they're like grown adults. Full-grown adults attacking people in the street, right? Watch your six. Watch your back. Not talking about staying 6 feet apart from people, although it is good to have some personal space and enforce that. And be alert. But be alert. Don't get jumped. Don't get knockout gamed. Don't get polar bear hunted. Don't get black on Asian crime. Or whatever. New York Post, New York Daily News. New York Post is a sort of tabloidy, stranger danger, tabloidy outlet. 22-year-old white boy visiting Seattle, brutally beaten by a stranger. This was a recent headline. Video shows. Yeah, sometimes these are caught on video. This boy has black eyes, 2 black eyes, swollen face, scuffed up temple. 22-year-old boy. Be wary, travelers. There were some white Christian males over in New Orleans, I remember, a few years back, I think they were murdered. They were in there for a event or something like that. Some Christian event. Killed by blacks. Here's another one. New York Daily News. 64-year-old man. Looks to be white or non-black, at least. Or maybe light-skinned, who knows. 64-year-old man was pummeled by a stranger he got into an argument with on a Brooklyn street, New York. Brooklyn, where that female shot another female, black female shot another black female. Blonde woman. Blonde black female. In a wild, caught on video beatdown. Handyman. It was a handyman, a 64-year-old handyman. Beaten on a Brooklyn street. He says that he's unafraid after the attack. Caught on camera. Right onto him, fighting back and not being afraid, supposedly. But you better watch out and don't be getting into arguments with the strangers, the blacks. Here's another one. Stranger stabs a man in the head in an unprovoked Bronx attack. Bronx, New York, cops say. And there's this stranger that looks like a young stranger. Look, he's jogging. He's a jogger, too. In Adidas t-shirt. Looks like he might be possibly a well-behaved boy, but looks, according to these photos, it implies that he's suspected in a stabbing, or at least a person of interest in a stabbing. New York Daily, that was New York Post. New York Daily News, an Asian woman managed to snap a cell phone pictures of a bigoted stranger who spat on her and told her to speak English in an unprovoked attack on the Upper West Side, New York. Cops say Asian woman, and that looks like a black dude. Looks like a black dude telling her to speak English. I felt like telling the. I went on the airplane. Hake's on a plane, and there was an Asian lady who spoke broken English in the announcements. I can't even imitate it, but it was difficult to understand. So they're using stranger, but it's black crime. And that's part of why this Black Lives Matter thing is such a lie. Because they're committing so many more crimes. They're having more run-ins with the cops. More run-ins with the cops means that they're more likely to, and they're also having more of an attitude. Means that they're more likely to get themselves killed by cops. So BLM does not have a valid argument. FYI, some of you guys are more like libertarian-minded or constitutional, or you just see that the cops are getting a little out of control with like the mask, enforcing the mask thing or the shutdowns and all that stuff. And that's true. But as the country goes more immoral, you lose your freedoms. You can't have freedom without morality. By the way, I saw this meme put out underneath this this tweet. I hate strangers. Whoa, don't hate the strangers. Just be very wary. There is a meme that says never relax around blacks, is implied, right? Never relax. And there's a lot of truth to that. You want to be alert, guys and gals. The world is evil. Don't hate them. You can, but don't be acting all trusting so that you get yourself robbed or whatever. Because it's a big mess. Everything is Upside Down gave a chat a bit ago over there on YouTube. Shout out to YouTube. Is the Facebook crew there? I think the Facebook crew there. Jib Jab says, my mom said never trust strangers. Racist! But honestly, you shouldn't even trust, you can't even totally trust your friends if they're, be careful who you trust and how you trust them. But yeah. Was that Bruce Willis? That's from Die Hard with a Vengeance. Ah, there's the Facebook crew. Anyway, I saw this tweet, not a tweet, this YouTube chat from Everything is Upside Down. I couldn't care less, referring to the Afghanis, if they kill each other. Just as I don't care about black on black deaths. Let them suffer. And honestly, that is not a bad attitude to have. You can be, you can tell the truth about it, be like concerned and right, but you just can't get all caught up with it. Because some of these people that get all amped up and emotional about the lost, they're lost themselves. And you don't want to get like that. Even the evil people who talk on this phone and you get annoyed at them, watch yourself. Watch yourself. Speaking of that, evil people, let me get to Tony in California, who wants to talk about white people disappearing. Wow. Tony, concerned about the whites. Isn't that interesting? Tony, how are you doing?
Good morning, Hake Report. With his lies. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, sir. Yeah, I heard a report on the census report about the Caucasian white folks here in America that are decreasing in population. And it's a big, major concern of them losing their power, their positions, their land, their opportunities, and their wealth. And I'm just amazed that this is about to happen here in the 20th century.
You're amazed about it?
Well, I am, because
you think you think that's actually going to happen?
No, actually, it's happening. It's not going to happen. It is happening.
You think it's already happened?
Yes, it is. Because, see, for one thing, for certain, two things for sure.
Are you happy about that?
I'm not either way on this, sir. I'm just speaking on the issue.
Are you being honest?
Excuse me?
Are you being honest?
Yes, I am, sir.
I don't think you're being honest. I think you're a bit gleeful about it.
No. You cannot put that on me because you don't.
Oh, yes, I can.
No.
Why can't I?
See, because no empire ever ruled forever on the face of this earth. Nobody.
You think we have an empire?
Well, that's what y'all want to believe. You think y'all superior. You believe that you.
What makes you think that we? What makes you think that we think we're superior?
Because you believe that you discovered this country.
I don't believe I discovered it.
No,
I know who did. It was Amerigo Vespucci, and it was the great hero Christopher Columbus.
Yeah,
Salute.
The murderer and rapist Christopher Columbus.
What do you care about murderers and rapists? Do you like
Because-
murderers and rapists?
Because all your forefathers are murderers and rapists.
Kind of like you?
I never raped no one in my life, sir.
Neither did
I
Christopher
never
Columbus.
I never murdered no one in my life.
Neither did Christopher Columbus.
How about what's the guy named Napoleon? How many people he murdered and raped?
I have no idea. Probably
Yes,
none.
you do.
Probably
yes,
none.
You do. Yeah, well, look up his history.
Probably zero.
Look up his character.
Why don't you look at yourself?
That was your great forefathers.
You think Napoleon was my forefather?
Every day I wake up, sir, I look at myself because I believe in myself.
Wow.
But I don't believe in no make believe.
You don't sound like you believe in yourself.
Well, if you look around me and look at my history, you'll see what I believe in, bro.
Was Napoleon awesome?
Yeah, he was. He was a straight murderer.
No, I think he was a warrior. Wasn't Napoleon a warrior? He was a conqueror.
He was worse than Hitler.
That's not murder. It's not murder.
Oh, it's not?
No.
When you go on somebody else's land and you just destroy them and kill everything that's moving that don't look like you, that's not murder.
I don't know if that's what happened, but that's not murder necessarily. That's
read
conquering.
His history.
What do you know about reading?
Hey, it's legal now. It won't legal a long time ago, but it's legal now for us to read.
You thought that
Master.
AD meant before Christ.
Master. Hey, I don't know nothing but your Christianity, your cult.
No. This is the world. This is how we count the years. You thought that AD meant before Christ.
You count.
So I don't know if you know much about reading.
Where's that on the clock? Where's that on the clock, sir? Where's AD on the clock? You say you count the world history on that.
It's not where, it's when. It's when.
Okay, when is it?
Right now, we are in AD, the year of our Lord 2021, Anno Domini.
Where is your Lord? Who is the Lord? What did the Lord mean? What the word Lord mean? That's a title, bro. Who is it?
Jesus. In your face.
Jesus who?
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
And where he come from?
He came from God.
Wait a minute. Where did he come from?
From God.
What land did he come from?
From America.
Yeah, that's another lie. Thank you, sir. You just proved my point.
I know Big Bump gave a super chat and said, I know blacks and I know Tony is a nasty, condescending black.
Hey, that's your opinion.
No, that's a fact.
You know what, thing? I'm so glad y'all got a real man representing you guys in California for running for the mayor, running for the governor. What that guy name?
Larry Elder?
No, Bruce Jenner. That's a real Republican with some, you know what? Some real kahunas.
That's a rhino.
That's a real Republican with kahunas.
I'm not surprised that you admire Bruce Jenner because you think like a woman too.
Well, you know what thing? It's not that I admire him. He just represents who you guys really are, a bunch of women.
Oh, no. That's you. You're a woman.
But that's But then once again, Hank, how do you feel about your culture disappearing on the face of the earth? God said.
I don't think that's happening, Tony.
It said in the Bible.
That's not happening.
Bible,
so I don't have any feeling on that.
It said in your Christianity Bible that the last would be first and the first would be last. Do you understand what that means, sir?
Yeah, that means your pride comes before the fall.
And
you're gonna fall hard, Tony.
We all gonna fall hard when you die.
Oh yeah.
So they don't.
So
don't
keep laughing. Keep laughing, buddy.
Don't point the finger, bro, because your thumb is pointing back at you. When you point your finger forward, your thumb is pointing right back at you.
No, it's not. It's pointing at you. See this?
Okay. No, I don't see nothing because I'm not looking at you, bro.
You better start watching. Anyway, Tony.
Hey, you know what thing? You have a wonderful day. Y'all have a wonderful day. I know y'all.
Thank you.
Pissed. I know y'all was very upset wearing the mask on the airplane. But hey.
Oh no. We're not like you. We're not petty.
That's the way of the world, my friend. You got to follow rules and regulations.
Yeah, it's an evil world out there. Thank you, Tony.
Hey, thank you. Have a wonderful day.
All right. Very beautiful. I can hear the diabetes through the phone says Leaf Shaka Jifix. Jif X. Thank you, sir. I should have asked him if that's a fact thing. LGD4033 says it's called the knockout game, and eventually white people are going to get tired of playing it, said Sam Hyde. Yeah, unwilling participants. Yeah, there is a saying, and it is not a positive thing, that white people are nice until they're not. And that's not a strength to be nice until you're not. You want to be right and consistent and even, so you can defend yourself rightly and defend what's right, right? Because niceness is a weakness, and then suddenly not being nice is also a weakness. So we gotta repent, because it's bad. Stranger danger. Guys, we are over the first hour. I have more calls to get to. Some sensible, I think. Some not. But it will be fun. And it is the top of the hour. I have another 121 song to play for you. Speaking, is this a Napoleon quote? Do you know? Venit, Victimarias, fuit, Vicit. He came, he died, he conquered. Oh yeah, because somebody said, we came, we saw, we conquered. Or Hillary Clinton said, we came, we saw, he died. Crazy Hillary. Psycho woman. Venit, Victimarias, fuit, Vicit. He came, he died, he conquered. This is 121 from 1998. Bear with me here. It's about 2 minutes long. I'll be right back for the rest of hour 2. If I'm butchering the pronunciation, I'm sure I am. What is it, Latin? Vini, vidi, vici. Vici. Thank you, Severio Jones. If I'm butchering it, bear with me. Let me know how to pronounce it. Anyway, guys, I'll be right back for the rest of hour 2. Hang tight. Here's 121. Hope you like it. So good. Am I right? No, I'm not? Well, forget you then. Sounds like Spanish bad words. What the? No Spanish bad words were sung in that song, at least not on purpose. Somebody said, this reminded me of something my brother said back when I was listening to this in high school. Bob Anderson said over there on YouTube, what a unique and innovative chord progression, I think he means, and with an eye roll emoji. And then our resident expert, musical expert, not a Philistine, Chris, skateboard white Chris, said that's not the point of punk rock, is innovation of the chord progression, dude. I would say I love the energy. Music so bad I could slap my mama, says Ethan James. Awesome, says Everything is Upside Down. Presumably about the music, right? Hake made me lose my place. Yeah, I had to follow along. He sings kind of fast. Sounds like suicidal tendencies, says Epstein's Ghost. Stinger GT2 asked about the prior song. Is this straight edge music? Yeah, because he's talking about never shoot up, never drink a drop, but I hate to be there when your bubbles popped. Your righteous acts are like filthy rags, wicked hearts and blood-stained hands. Something like that. See, I knew the lyrics. Punk rock stinks so bad, says Baron von Balz. Philly more like the city of brotherly drugs, says Justice S. Yeah, indeed. Philadelphia is supposed to be the city of brotherly love because in Greek, I think, when I was a little Christian boy, I learned that there were 3 kinds of love that you ought to show. That one is the phileos, which is the brotherly love. And Philadelphia, city of brotherly love. More like brotherly drugs, though, yeah. You sure this isn't Dead Milkman? Asks Robbie Lewis Brown. I'm not sure. Doesn't sound very manly. Hake, I cannot relate to your music, says Miss Kitty. Funny. Well, guys, appreciate it. The Peas and Carrots song, I'm not familiar with that, Point Fire. But Ashley, over there on the Facebook crew, muted it. Some punk is cool, says the Storm Blooper. Yeah. Veni Vidi Vici, or Vici, is usually credited, says Ragnar0321, to Julius Caesar. I came, I saw, I conquered. No one sung in that song, quote unquote, at all, says Maine Franken. Yeah, I know, it wasn't actually. There was some, pitch changes. I think it had a little bit of a melody to it. I think. But you're right, it was mostly shouting. A song is sung, meaning it has singing. But shouting doesn't count as singing, nor does speaking. The drummer was just even absolution. I know. But still, it's fun. Oh, darn. I was about to get to John in Kentucky. He was going to say, what's your problem with women? Pretty much the same problem with blacks. I don't really have a problem, but they have a problem. And that is sin. Let me talk briefly, before I get to callers, of Mark in Santa Monica calling in, saying that blacks should pay reparations. Very true. They've caused a lot of damage around the country. They've raised children badly who get themselves killed, and then they get payouts. But honestly, they should be the ones paying. Seriously. There's such mess going on. Destruction. Jesse sings better. Yeah. William in California wants to talk about the Chicago police getting shot. But first, let me tell you about Samantha Power. Just a little bit about her, because I recognized her name and face from the Obama administration. This is a woman. A woman. Can I say it with more disdain? Samantha Jane Power. This is from Wikipedia. Very trustworthy source. This is her. This is she. No, I'm not her. On the screen, you, if you're watching the video, you see her with these thick eyebrows, and she is not American at heart or even by birth. Stay unmarried, Hake, says Jupiter. Well, she was born September 21st, 1970, 50 years old, going on 51. A mess. Gen X. Early life, she was born in London, the daughter of Irish parents. Told you she's not a normal white person. Well, I didn't tell you, but this is a mess. Irish parents Vera Delaney, a nephrologist and field hockey international, and Jim Power, a dentist and piano player. Raised in Ireland until she was 9. She lived in the Dublin district of Castleknock, was schooled in Mount Anvil Montessori Junior School, Goatstown, Dublin, till her mother emigrated to Pittsburgh, PA in 1979. Look at that face, says Nick. That's a reference to what Trump said about that woman. I forget her name. Yeah, Carly Fiorina. Pouty, weird face. Carly Fiorina. She attended Lakeside High School in Atlanta, Georgia, where she became a member of the cross-country team and basketball team. She subsequently received her BA degree, uneducated woman, from Yale University, one of the worst schools you can go to, evil, where she was a member of the Aurelian, like Aurelius, Marcus Aurelius, I think, Honor Society. And her JD, she got a Juris Doctorate. That means she's a lawyer/liar. A woman and a lawyer, a double liar. JD degree and a Democrat, triple liar. Because a double negative can be a positive. From Harvard Law School in 1993, at the age of 23, she became a U.S. so-called citizen. We are too lenient. That was under the Clinton administration when she became a citizen. 1998, she became the founding executive director of CARR, C-A-R-R, Center for Human Rights. Human rights. Communist. Human rights policy at Harvard Kennedy School. That's a horrific thing. She later served as the first Ann Lind Professor of Practice of Global Leadership and Public Policy until 2009. Listen to this. She was senior advisor to Senator Barack Obama. Maybe she reminded him of his mama, Obama. Until March of 2008, she resigned from his presidential campaign after apologizing for saying something true, referring to then Senator Hillary Clinton as a monster in an interview. But don't get excited. She's not about truth. She apologized. She thought she was off the record. She wanted to play the game and be phony. A phony. She joined the Obama State Department transition team in late November 2008. April 2012, Obama chose her to chair a newly formed Atrocities Prevention Board. And when you think of atrocities, what's more of an atrocity than killing a baby in the womb? Or maybe delivering it and then killing it, which is sometimes happens with abortions. Oh no, Obama's for that. If my daughters make a mistake, I don't want them punished with a baby. That was what Obama said. He was wishing death on his own potential grandchildren. If his daughters make a mistake. As a UN ambassador, she was a UN ambassador under Obama. She focused on United Nations reform, not for the better. Women's rights, LGBT rights, so-called religious freedom, religious minorities, not Christians, refugees, human trafficking, human rights, which is another buzzword for communism, and democracy, mob rule, communism. Because these people, when they're immoral, they bring in an immoral government, including in the Middle East and North Africa, Sudan, Myanmar. She's considered to have been a key figure in the Obama administration in persuading the president to intervene militarily in Libya. Do you remember that? Oh my gosh, Obama made a mess of Libya. You can thank Samantha Power for that. In 2016, she was listed as the 41st most powerful woman in the world by the far-left female-minded outlet Forbes magazine. Crazy, huh? And so she's back in the sleepy Biden administration. She is running the U.S. aid, which is Agency for International Development. Samantha Power. And she's overseeing the U.S. effort to help Haiti. So pray for Haiti, because they got a evil woman representing America who is not about anything that is for America. Evil woman. We are run by domestic enemies. What a mess. Samantha Power is evil, says Ragnar0321. See? Now it's a fact. Terrible, huh? Terrible. And by the way, they are going after the freedom of speech. You know, we're coming up. By the way, what did you guys think of my Stavesacre song? Some of you guys said, oh, Stavesacre stunk. Last week, my Christian band, supposedly. He is a liberal. I looked into his Twitter feed. The guy who sings for Stavesacre or sang for Stavesacre, Mark Solomon, Salomon, or however you pronounce it or spell it. His Twitter feed's like retweeting Hassan Piker, that communist who debated Jesse Lee Peterson, the cousin of Cenk Uyghur, whatever. He was retweeting him, women, and saying, oh, everybody should get vaccinated, and just, he wanted Mark Solomon. Oh my gosh, he wanted Cori Bush for president. What in the world? Cori Bush being that black female representative, supposedly. She's in Congress. I forget what state she's from, but she's a evil liberal. She wants to prevent landlords from being able to evict deadbeat tenants, right? People who can't or won't, more likely won't, pay their rent. Basically clamping down and destroying everybody who's doing anything in the country for good. People who are doing good in the country for themselves and for others. So that the government can swoop in, and the Facebook and Google and all these fake companies, evil companies, can swoop in and pretend like they're saving everybody. Just making everybody desperate. So the Department of Homeland Security, Friday the 13th, issued a national terrorism bulletin. 9/11 is coming up. 9/11. 9/11, 2021. It was 20 years prior to that, 9/11, 2001, when we saw TV footage of big planes. People thought they were small planes because they just were dwarfed by these buildings. Flew into the buildings, and the buildings went down. Looked like that. And it was a crazy terror attack. Now they're hyping, oh, Trump supporters are terrorists. That's what they're doing. So they're pushing for more censorship and clampdown. Evil. They're saying that their potential targets include elected officials, political representative, government facilities, like what? Police precincts? Like by BLM and Antifa? Law enforcement? Oh, you mean like, I'm putting pigs in a blanket? I'm putting wings on pigs? Pigs are gonna fly? I'm talking about this BLM guy who shot, BLM believer sucker, who shot and killed some New York City police officers. All kinds of targeting of the cops by evil suckers who believe that, oh, police are targeting blacks. Religious communities and perceived ideologically opposed individuals. Oh, you mean like how Antifa and Black Lives Matter are assaulting Trump supporters or anybody halfway decent? Give me a break. They're saying there are also continued non-specific calls for violence on multiple platforms, online platforms associated with DVE, domestic violence extremist ideologies, or conspiracy theories on perceived election fraud, which obviously never happened, right? And alleged reinstatement and responses to anticipated restrictions related to the increasing COVID cases. They're going after you. These females believe in the clampdown. And if you oppose it, their eyes are on you. Stay right. They want you out of control. They lick their chops anytime somebody does something accelerationist. What a mess. Evil people. Anyway, let me get to Mark in Santa Monica, California. Mark, how are you doing?
Very good, Mr. Hake. I love you.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome. You're the best. I have a couple things, if you don't mind. First, I refer to blacks as Negroes because that's what they are.
Okay.
I think Negroes should pay for the damage they did to the American cities in the 1960s. I'm not talking about the more recent riots. That's another issue.
Yeah.
But just the damage they did in the 1960s was irreparable.
Wow.
They had something called the Kerner Commission that was formed in 1968 to investigate why the riots happened. Guess what their conclusion was? It was white racism. Blame whitey for those savages burning our cities down. And the same cities that they burned are now controlled by them. The majority of those cities had white majorities prior to the 60s. Now they've become crap holes and run by Negroes. The other thing, I think we all know what they did in the 60s. Any honest-minded, fair-minded person would say, yes, they owe reparations. We owe them zip. Okay, and the other thing on another subject, but I did want to get this out, Mr. Hake, is the Amy Comey Barrett disappointment.
Yeah.
Are you aware that she refused to hear the case of Indiana college students who tried to stop the mandated vaccinations at, I think it's Indiana State University?
I heard something like that.
Yep. And she refused to hear the case, just like she refused to hear the Texas case, in my opinion, would have proven that the election was stolen. I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but I'm just trying to make a point.
Oh, right.
The court refused to hear the Texas case. And her reasoning on the Texas case was because it happened before she was on the court. I mean, what a lame excuse. And if she can't see that mandated vaccinations are unconstitutional, she's not fit for that position.
And I know, especially this is going to become a moot point pretty soon, but especially on something that's not even fully approved. I mean, you guys think that they're going to fully approve it this coming month? I think they probably will. They're so...
You mean the FDA? They might be, sold out or bought off, whatever.
It's really beside the point, though, because people have the freedom. Agree. Yeah. It's not like this is not that crazy of a disease.
Well, they had Congressman Gov't, who I like a lot, on Newsmax this weekend, and he thinks that the reason Barrett refused to take the case was because she's been threatened. When she was getting nominated to be on the court, the threats against her and her family, she's got like 9 or 10 kids. I think the threats got to her, and so does Congressman Gov't. And now, why would she refuse an obvious case like that? She's a fraud. And Jesse Lee Peterson exposed her before, I believe, even before she was on the court.
Yep.
But these 3 picks that Trump made, and I love President Trump.
Yeah.
I think he was influenced by bad advisors. Kavanaugh, Gorsuch, and Barrett have been a huge disappointment. Judge Roberts was already bought off. The only 2 conservatives are
John
Alioto,
Roberts. Yeah.
and John Roberts, but Alioto and Clarence Thomas are the only real conservatives that are on the board, that are on the court now. It's a shame. They were intimidated into refusing to take these cases.
They're weak people. You could see it all over their faces and in the way that they talked and all that stuff. It's just like Jesse said, women cave to pressure, and so do weak men.
I agree. But did you notice when she was getting confirmed how she spoke so authoritarian? I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way, but she spoke like she really knew what she was saying. I was impressed.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you.
Wow.
Not to say that I wasn't wrong. I was taken in.
Right.
She's a good con artist.
Yeah.
But look how she's acting now as the way she acted before.
Yeah.
and the way she carries herself. I'm really scared because if we lose the court, we have nowhere to go. And with these mandates coming up, they're going to, this is going to be something the courts hopefully will have to decide in our favor. Last thing, and I know you were out of town over the weekend, did you know that these scumbags from Antifa, the white haters, attacked a peaceful march that was against mandates for vaccines and masks?
Where was this?
They were attacked. It was in L.A. somewhere.
I think
sure.
I
saw it
heard
on
something
TV.
about it. I heard something about it when we were, I was listening to the radio on the ride home from the airport, and somebody said that something went crazy. They didn't say Antifa, but they said some type of attack on a, maybe a reporter was hurt or something. On a,
somebody got stabbed.
Wow.
But we don't know who. We don't know who got stabbed or who did the stabbing. My thoughts are that it was probably a good guy that got stabbed, and the media is covering for Antifa.
Wow.
I mean, that's just a personal thought.
Yeah.
I don't know because they haven't released anything.
That's why
the police did nothing. The cops did nothing.
Yep.
Lastly, I got to get this out. I called the Portland Police Department, Public Affairs, to find out why the cops stood back and allowed these low-life communist scum from Antifa to attack our white Christian patriot brothers up in Portland.
Yeah.
They won't even answer the phone. I left several messages with my name and number
Yeah.
to tell me why they allow these scumbags to attack our people. No call back.
Yeah.
No call back. I would suggest that everyone listening that's a patriot, not these white-hating Negroes that call in,
Right.
but some of the good white people that are, and good Negroes if they're listening, call Portland, find out why they are afraid to take on Antifa.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see an answer. They won't even pick up the phone.
The same thing
public
happened in
relations
Charlottesville, Virginia. Remember 3-4 years ago, roughly? Yeah,
Yes,
about almost
yes.
maybe to the day, like 4 years ago, give or take. They the police stood back and let Antifa and Black Lives Matter attack the peaceful protesters, the whites who did not, and other people, not just whites, were there protesting
Right.
against the tearing down of the statue of Robert E. Lee in Lee Park. And they let it go so out of control that James Fields, I don't know what exactly happened, but some Antifa professor said he waved him on or something like that, and Antifa were seen
ran him over.
shooting him, like not shooting him, but hitting his car, and it was crazy. They let chaos reign.
McAuliffe was the governor.
Yeah.
Terry McAuliffe. He was called the punk. Rush Limbaugh labeled him the punk, and he fits the description. But he gave the order for the cops to do nothing and allow these criminals to attack our patriotic brothers. And that was Terry McAuliffe.
Terry McAuliffe.
McAuliffe, who allowed the commies without a permit to attack our white brothers.
Yeah.
And that incident, which happened 4 years ago in 2017.
August 12th, 2017. Yeah.
Okay, that was almost exactly 2 weeks before the 50th anniversary of Commander Rockwell's assassination in Virginia.
Wow.
We had a little rally in Arlington at the spot where it happened, and it was not connected to Charlottesville, but it was real close geographically. And the newspaper wrote a big write-up on Rockwell when that happened, saying that still many people agree with what he had stood for and love the man.
Yeah.
And it was a very interesting article. But so that's what's happening in America.
What year was that?
Today.
That article came out.
Commander Rockwell was, and I call him Commander because he was a naval commander, was assassinated on August 25th, 1967, about noontime in Arlington, Virginia, in a parking lot.
And then the article, when you guys had that parade or event.
It was a small celebration.
What year was that?
Well, that celebration was in 17.
Oh, okay.
2000.
Oh, okay.
That was about 2 weeks after the ride in Charlottesville.
Oh, okay. I might have heard something about that. I feel like something.
Yeah, you should. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but you should really read about the funeral that they gave Commander Rockwell. They wanted to bury him in Arlington, and they were going to allow him to be buried in Arlington, National Cemetery, because he was the Navy commander in 2 wars. But the ACLU refused to take the case. And when we got, well, I wasn't there, but when they came to inter his body, because they wore swastikas, the Army wouldn't allow them to enter into Arlington. So Commander Rockwell wasn't able to be buried there. His remains are with Matt Cale in a secret location. He's the man that took over for Rockwell. But I just wanted to get that out. Again, my suggestion, I know you won't follow it, but I would say when you refer to blacks or African, just call them Negroes, because they call us Caucasian, and it's the same thing. It's not a racial slur.
Right.
Just a suggestion.
Okay,
and
I appreciate that.
God bless you. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you, Mark. Happy Men's History Month to you.
Happy Men's History Month. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. This is from Smithsonian Magazine. It came out in 2018, March 1st, 2018, by Alice George. Smithsonian Magazine, far left enemies of America. The 1968, he mentioned the Kerner Commission, which was put together by LBJ, according to a quick search, the National Advisory Commission on Civil Disorders, known as the Kerner Commission, after its chair, Governor Otto Kerner Jr. of Illinois, was an 11-member presidential commission established by then so-called president, was that LBJ, Lyndon B. Johnson? Evil person. The Kerner Commission got it right, said the Smithsonian Magazine, according to Alice George, a woman, presumably. But nobody listened. Released 50 years ago, the infamous report found that poverty and institutional racism were driving inner-city violence. Pathetic. Evil. Pent-up frustrations boiled over in many poor African-American neighborhoods during the mid to late 60s, setting off riots. Oh, they're victims. Victims become perps. Victim-minded people, angry people, do evil. Brandon M. says, Hake, have you ever heard of George Lincoln Rockwell, that guy that he mentioned? I have heard of him, especially since he's been calling in, talking about him. He likes him for Men's History Month. I've looked into him a little bit. I don't know much about him. I can't go either way on him. But Mark in Santa Monica. You know, let me get to William in California. He wants to talk about the Chicago police getting shot. William in California, thanks for holding, man. How are you?
Hey, good morning, man.
Morning.
I'm glad everything went good for you guys this weekend.
Appreciate it.
And God bless you, Mark. God bless you. What a patriot.
Yeah.
What a patriot. He's right. They did tear those towns up in the 60s.
Yeah.
They did come back. Detroit.
Was that
all
when
of
in LA we had the Watts riots?
You know that
Was
stuff
that
is still torn up. Yes. Watts. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was Watts, Chicago, Detroit. Some of this stuff wasn't even rebuilt yet.
Wow.
To this day.
Yeah. To this
You
day.
know, yeah, to this day. And it's about the same time when, these people started going to college, these Negroes started getting the pass with affirmative action. They are today's warriors for victimhood right now.
Evil.
All of them. Very evil. The other guy that called before Mark, he was very evil. I mean, if he doesn't like it here, he seems like he's celebrating America's problems.
Right. Tony from California. He is.
That's just dirty. That's
Yep.
just dirty. And I don't know why he's celebrating. They're all celebrating. They think everything is going to be like this forever.
Because they've been brainwashed to focus their hatred that they have for everybody. They have no love for anybody. But they've been brainwashed to focus their hatred and blame on whites. And so they get gleeful when evil befalls whites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they did a story on the police officer in Chicago that was shot in the head, killed. And
was that a woman?
Boys,
Is that woman
yes.
who had a baby like 2-3 weeks before or something like that?
Well, I don't know if she had a baby. Actually, there was a baby that got shot in the head in Chicago, a black baby. Was shot in the head. The baby survived. She's actually the one that saved that baby's life.
Oh, wow.
So
I
they
thought
shot
she
the
came
cop
back
that
from
was-
maternity leave or something, too.
Maybe,
Yeah.
but I know she saved a baby's life that got shot in the head that was like a year old.
Wow.
And she's the cop that you need. But, like the guy that was on the phone a few minutes ago, how dare you and shame on you to wish bad on the country that you live in.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, he needs to move to Haiti. Move to Haiti.
Yeah. Where they're...
And leave our aircraft carriers that protect your rights. Leave all our soldiers. Take yourself over to Haiti.
Yeah.
And see how I don't even, what, that guy sound like somebody, he probably doesn't live in a good neighborhood. No wonder he's got resentments.
It's a mess.
But they when they was pointing out that cop, they pointed something out that was really important. They said, you have to look at all of these cities. They're ran by black women.
Yeah.
So rebuilding the man is very important. I hope everybody hears this.
Yeah. Very
Look,
important.
I'm black. I'm a black man. Look, I'm single, man. Look what we have to offer.
Yeah.
They're not good women. They're not good women. They're raising these kids that are not grown until they're 25.
And even then,
And
many times
and
they never really grow up. I mean,
I had to
Tony...
tell one that she's got two sons and they're grown, and I told her, I said, you got to go. I don't want you. I really don't want no woman that her husband divorced her. I don't want no woman that her husband divorced her.
Yep. True.
And the other thing about Antifa did jump on some people in Los Angeles. What went down is that it was a prayer group or something like that, Christians. But I got to give them credit, man. Them Christians was throwing down.
Oh, good.
They put Antifa on their butt. Yeah, CNN.
But
I
encourage people to just stay away from public demonstrations for the most part right now, where you can.
I wouldn't go to one.
Yeah, where Antifa may show up. I know that we have the Straight Pride rally coming up, but hopefully we'll have some Proud Boys, some decent people to.
The Proud Boys. You know what?
Protect.
They have killed no one.
I know. They've it's basically been only self-defense and defending innocent people.
And when they do, they get down. So whoever that was that called that didn't like America, I'm going to tell you something. These white folks going to get sick of you. And don't be celebrating like the country is changing, because the country is not changing. You still only make up 12% of the population, and half your men are in jail, half your women ain't nothing, and half your kids ain't nothing. And I'm black, and I know it. You're not going to win nothing. You're not going to win anything over these white people in this country, not these good white people, because their guns are legal. You guys are going to run out of bullets. You won't be able to go to the store to get re-ammo. You won't get no ammo.
Well,
all your guns are illegal.
Hopefully it doesn't come to that, because it
ain't going to come to that. They're just talking.
Bad.
You look at black radicals. They get radical with each other. You don't ever really see them beating up nobody like the Proud Boys. They can't win.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, William. It's great to hear from you, man. Happy Men's History Month to you.
Happy Men's History Month to you, too. Hey, shout out to, I'm doing this on purpose, Henry Ford.
Nice.
He invented the weekend. How about that?
Right on.
And the V8. So how about that? That's for that caller. Henry Ford. He gave you a weekend.
Nice. Thank you, William.
Take care.
You as well.
All right.
Mm-hmm. The Watts riots, not to be confused with the L.A. riots from the 90s. The Watts riots, August 11th, 1965 to today, August 16th, but way back in 1965.
To this day.
Sometimes referred to as the Watts Rebellion, give me a break, or Watts Uprising, communists, took place in the Watts neighborhood and its surrounding areas of Los Angeles in August of 1965. What a mess. Marquette Fry, F-R-Y-E, a 21-year-old black male, pulled over for drunk driving, allegedly. He failed a sobriety test. Officers attempted to arrest him. He resisted arrest with assistance from his mother. Even mothers making a mess even in the 1960s. and a physical confrontation ensued in which Marquette was struck in the face with a baton. Meanwhile, a crowd of onlookers had gathered. Rumors spread that police had kicked a pregnant woman who was present on the scene. They spread those rumors. Oh, hands up, don't shoot. Total lie. They just spread the rumors. Commies. Liars. 6 days of so-called civil unrest followed. Riots. Motivated in part by allegations of police abuse. Never mind the blacks out of control. Nearly 14,000 members of the California Army National Guard helped suppress the disturbance. 34 deaths, $40 million in property damage in their own city. It was the city's worst riot until the Rodney King riots of 1992. The city of, I think Watts is just a neighborhood in the city of Los Angeles, right? Terrible. And the mainstream media was lying even back then. So that's why, it's part of why the boomers are such suckers. Many boomers, whom I love. I love the boomers. So, yeah, there's been multiple riots in LA. Blacks. Ridiculous. They're not called joggers. They are strangers now. They're strangers, guys. Hey! Hey! Okay, I have my favorite caller on the line, but I won't get to her yet. First, I have to get to Jesse in PA. Wants to talk about a divorce right now. Jesse in Pennsylvania, thank you for holding. How are you?
Hey, Hake, how's it going?
Going well. How about you?
Just doing what I can, living life.
Nice.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about, well, there's been an awakening of men actually seeing like how dangerous women can be.
Yeah.
How they can destroy not just marriages or children, but also society. I see it's all over YouTube now. I don't know if you noticed it.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a lot of channels being created. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, you can't really stamp out the truth. There are going to be some people telling factual information that they're angry about it, but even that is not the full truth. But you can't stamp out the truth. That's why with Tony celebrating how like whites are going down and getting so-called stamped off the face of the earth, that's not true. There's always going to be a remnant of people who stand on what's right. And it's nice to see that the word is getting out about women are not these poor innocent victims, and they're not decent people. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. There's a lot of channels out there, and I'm watching these guys, and a lot of them are actually spitting stuff that Jesse Lee Peterson has said before.
Right.
And you say something about how.
Are you on a speakerphone or where? How your phone gets all?
Can you hear me better now?
What the heck?
Can you hear me better now?
That sounds better, I think.
Can you hear me better?
What are you on now?
I'm using headphones.
Man, no, it's a
All right,
mess.
let me get off the headphones.
Don't be. No headphones. No Bluetooth.
Can you hear me now?
That's much better. I think.
Yes.
Jeez.
Have you noticed that a lot of women, they want marriages, but they initiated most divorces?
Yes, I have heard this. I've heard that 70 to 80% of all divorces are initiated by women, and it's no-fault divorce, which is evil. Thank you, Ronald Reagan. I heard, even though I like Reagan for other things, maybe. Jesse, your phone is a mess, but I appreciate your call. I gotta go. Well, let's talk another time when you have your phone right. Oh, he hung up anyway. His phone was a mess. But thank you, man. Thank you. I don't know if he personally was going through anything or if he was just talking about the topic in general, but it is a crazy situation. Asmodor, the historian over there on trovo.live / the Hake Report. Shout out. Thank you for hosting the show over there too. It says Leon, Levasseur designed the first V8 in 1904 for speedboats. Speedboats. Renault, Pouchet, Cadillac, Rolls-Royce all produced V8 powered motor cars before Henry Ford. Ford made cars for the common man, and until the Ford Flathead, V8s were a luxury item. Oh, okay. All right. So it wasn't an entire misnomer to say, oh, thank him for the V8, but he helped make them available to the people as opposed to just the luxury people who are affordable, who can find those things affordable. Anyway, thank you, man. Appreciate that. And I'm hearing that they are not strangers, they're dingers. Dingers? Dinger! And that's a reference to that Triceratops-looking, purple, dinosaur-looking mascot from the Colorado Rockies. The mascot for the Colorado Rockies, my dinga. Oh, yeah, you have to put it with an A at the end. No hard R's. No, you can do the hard R because this is America. And you have no right to assume the worst of intentions on somebody who uses a word. Am I right? Yes, I am right. Shout out to all my dingers. And women plan their divorce months and years in advance, says Cheesehead69. Always scheming, often taking the husband by surprise. Isn't that so evil? Oh my gosh, that is like bone-chilling, blood-boiling, sickening, evil. Don't close your eyes to evil, said one wise man. See it. You don't even have to call it out always. You don't have to call it out always. It's good to call it out sometimes. Overcome evil with good. Do not be overcome by evil. Keep watch. Be self-controlled and alert. I love this Bible verse. Don't you? The Bible says, and I know I'm probably reciting the NIV. Blame my mama. My mother bought me an NIV, which is the New International Version, which is put out by Zondervan, which is like a far-left liberal fake Christian publisher. And they translate the thoughts, supposedly, but they mistranslate a lot, I hear. I mean, I've seen in the NIV, like they call Jesus God, and like the Bible, the plainly written Bible, if we have a plainly written translation, doesn't necessarily say that. So all kinds of weird things. But the Bible does say, be self-controlled and alert. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. Self-controlled and alert. Huh. Is Hake Bible thumping today? By the way, shout out to fellow RSer. Nice to see you, man. I found out that it's not fellow riser. I put in letters that aren't there. Like there's a city or something like that called Kennebunkport. I used to call it Kennebunkenport. Ignorant. Man, let me first get to Art in Ohio. He wants to comment on this Afghanistan situation. Art in Ohio, how are you doing?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Doing well, thank you.
I feel like you my long lost white brother, man. I'm like, man, I seen this little clip last night, man. I'm like, I gotta call my man, my main man, Hake. We gonna get this situation resolved expeditiously.
Nice.
So, with that Afghanistan stuff and that Haiti stuff, a lot of these countries where America is going into, they trying to push this democratic agenda where it's the gays.
Yeah.
And the females running stuff, and a lot of these countries already know the females can't run nothing. So they automatically turn it, and that's where a lot of this stuff is coming from, because they already know that America is going through it. They sit here and see a lot of this stuff that's on YouTube or whatnot. They are rejecting all this feminist stuff that America's over here pushing, and they basically saying in so many words that they willing to fight for their country, to fight against all this propaganda that these feminist gay liberals are trying to push in their country.
Yep.
That's the first, and I'm not saying that's all, but that's a big part of what's going on over in these countries.
I think you're right.
I think I'm right too, man. But we we tend to be right 90% of the time, probably more than that. Second thing is, I gave Nick the little link or whatnot. I ain't gonna say it over here, and if I don't see y'all put it up, I might have messed around. It should have. I just check in later when I gave it to him or whatnot. So it was a dude I seen on. He was going to court for some traffic stuff, and the judge set him up on camera, saying that they lied and said that he came in late when he was in. He was actually in earlier, and they arrested him.
Wow.
So check
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Nick said he'll email it.
Huh?
Nick said that he will email it to me. Thank you for that tip. Appreciate that.
Yeah. And he said that he was trying to go to the news channels or whatnot and get the story out there, how they were setting him up or whatnot. His own attorney was working with the prosecutors to set the client up. And you can't do that. That's not how the Constitution was set up for y'all to be in there scheming. And that's not just only going on in Utah. That's going on all across America in these Democratic ran areas and probably in the Republican areas where they are setting up their clients. And you can't do that.
Yeah.
And then and the reason why I'm so amped up about it is because that's the same thing that I'm going through. And I heard that last night, and I'm like, wow, that's the first time I've seen that. And I noticed that's what was going on with Trump. And that's what made me fight more for him, too, because that's the same thing they was doing with him, blocking evidence and stuff like that. And that's the same thing that's going on with me. We coming to put this evidence in front of these female judges and then in front of these prosecutors and in front of even my own lawyer. And my own lawyer, in my case, Art, he's sitting here messing my case up. And I'm like, wow. It's like, I don't know what to do because it's like my funds ain't all like that. But it's like only thing he had to do was go in here and present the evidence that I laid out to him, and he messed my case up. So what I'm basically trying to say is they are railroading, especially Negroes in these black communities, and I'm for sure that they are railroading a lot of these whites. Oh, yeah. And what's going to end up happening with all this feminist liberals nonsense they pushing, they going to end up starting a liberal war, dang on civil war. With all the stuff going on around in the world, it's all setting up to be a world war, and they got you focused. They got America focused on Afghanistan, while the Afghanistan people are coming up through the border. So America better wake the hell up. They got you looking at the front door while they coming through the back door at the border. We ain't stupid. We know what's going on, and we're going to protect and we're going to fight for America. And Arnold Schwarzenegger, you better get your ass up out of America, you damn Nazi, because we beat you up once, and we'll beat you up again. God bless you, Hake. I'll catch you later, my man.
Thank you, Art. Appreciate you, man. Happy Men's History Month.
Happy Men's History Month to you.
All right. Yeah, he's referring to, I heard that the former governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger, a joke, a rhino, he was called what's translated into born before his parents were married, even by the Mexican friends that I had, coworkers. He said, forget about your dang freedom or something like that. Something to that effect. It was worse than that, what he said. Terrible. Evil stuff going around. Somebody said, Hake, it's ignorant. It's ignorant, not ignorant. True. That's right. Let me quickly, it is 5 minutes till. I want to try to get to all the calls. Maze, my favorite caller from Dayton, Ohio, is on the line. Maze, how are you?
Hello, James.
Hey, happy Men's History Month to you.
Good for you.
Thank you.
I heard Mark. They need to go and arrest him because he's having a problem. He's all in his feelings. And then you got William trying to convince you to tell you what color he is.
You said that. Are you saying that Mark from Santa Monica needs to be arrested because he's in his feelings?
Yes.
Why would you arrest somebody just for being in their feelings?
He worried about Antifa. He worried about people. Well, we got different. You choose which one you want to be.
So you can arrest somebody for being in their feelings?
No.
In Maze's America?
No. The things that's on his mind to do, he needs to get just the silent prayer. He needs to get the Lord's prayer. He needs to get everything because he's on his way to jail.
I don't think how do you know he's on his way? Oh, you think because he's in his feelings, he may lash out and do something wrong?
Yeah, do something
Oh, I don't think that that's the case, Maze.
Oh, really? I hope he don't.
Yeah,
and then you got.
I don't think. I think he agrees with you about the silent prayer and the Lord's prayer. He probably.
No.
I don't know. I'll ask him if he does the silent prayer.
No, you just listen to him, and then you got
I know,
William over there.
But you're not an accurate judge.
He's in his feelings. What y'all gonna do when there's not enough men on
Is he
this
saying
planet?
anything untrue?
Yes, he is.
What?
All the things that he's saying. Everything he's saying is just showing. I wonder if he wear a Klan hat. That's what he sounds like.
What? A Klan hat?
He sounds like a Klansman, yes. I wonder if he had one of them dunce caps that he wear around. And he talking about Antifa, but he want to go do something worse than Antifa. That's why I told you I love
Can you tell me one thing that he said that wasn't true?
Everything.
One thing.
Everything. Everything that he said, he look in the mirror
So
and
you
let
can't
it be a reflection
you can't
on him.
say one thing.
He was sound about harming people. And then you talking about getting bullets and who got guns and who got this and all of this. There go William coming, stepping right behind him. They're violent people. And there's a place for them.
Is Antifa not violent?
I don't know if Antifa not. I don't even know who that ghost is that y'all keep talking about.
The ghost. Okay, it's a boogeyman.
It's a ghost
All
to
right.
me because I don't know who the ghost supposed to be.
Yeah,
he
you know what? I stay away from any place that Antifa might be because I value my life and my limb and my eyesight and stuff like that. I'm not looking to get stabbed or have to defend myself and go to jail for having to defend myself. So
Antifa's supposed to look like what? Since I don't know what Antifa is, who it look like you?
They dress in black.
Or do it look like us?
They look like a mix. They look like I think that they're mostly Jewish and Hispanic is my understanding.
Okay. Jewish and Hispanic.
But also Antifa supports Black Lives Matter, and Black Lives Matter is black and Jewish and Hispanic and some whites, suckers,
then you got people like,
some dumb Asians. It's there's evil in all races, and
there's evil in all races, and I want Mark to know that.
Antifa, Asmodor says.
His feelings.
Asmodor
that's what
says.
I want him to do. And I also want William. Negro is not a bad word. Y'all put it in our book. Y'all put it on our birth certificate. So why we got to be ashamed of it? You got Southern on there. You got Negro on there.
Turn off
your
alarm. What the heck is going on, Maze? In the world?
My alarm. So anyway,
turn off your ringer.
That's what I'm saying. Why don't
stop
you?
It? Can you stop that
That's what
noise?
I'm saying. They need to get it
What's
together.
What's that infernal sound?
So what you gonna do when there's more women on the earth?
Are you hard of hearing?
Y'all really gonna lose y'all mind? Are you gonna lose your mind then?
Okay, Asmodor says, I saw the video. Everybody saw it.
You got some men don't want to be men.
I put her on hold. I saw it. Everybody saw it. The video. Antifa violently attacked a group of peaceful mask protesters, got their butts kicked for their trouble, says Asmodor. So Maze didn't see that ghost.
Come on, to get yourself together before he go commit a crime.
Okay, thank you, Maze.
And get off the edge and tell him to use one of those commandments, which is number, I think it's 6. Thou shalt not kill. Tell him to get it off his mind. And tell him bullets and guns, everybody don't look and worship those.
That's wisdom. Thank you, Maze. Appreciate it.
And tell him to use it. And William, too. And tell him stop trying to convince you what
I thought you were going to ask why people wanted you at the men's conference.
That's what I want to know, too. Why did they want me there? I'm not a man.
No, but there was a church service for everybody the day after. And
Really?
At first, I saw Katrina from Louisiana. I'm like, is that Maze? Is that Maze? Both
Really?
Nick and I had the same thought. And we were across the
I'll speak for
conference
myself. I wouldn't
room
even have to open my mouth to say nothing if you saw me. You probably have seen me and don't know you're looking at me.
Probably. Thank you, Maze.
And tell them the heathens.
I'm not telling anything. We're overtime. I got to go. You have a good one.
in the chat room chatting about me to get that stuff together, too, and you just proud to bring them.
Okay. Happy Men's History Month.
One.
You too. Bye, Maze. Eric in Arizona, first-time caller. I cannot get to you. He wanted to talk about the Haiti earthquake and the Clintons. Yeah, that's right. Didn't we they raised a bunch of money and then they stole it or something like that? Anyway, guys, this is overtime. It is 11 o'clock already here in Los Angeles. Here is what makes me suspect that these guys are kind of on the liberal side, like not normal Christians. This is Break Down the Walls by 121. I mean, of course. Anyway, listen to this song if you can and look at the lyrics. To me, it's sort of this fake unity diversity thing. To me, it might be a little bit of that. It hints toward it. But I still like the band. So enjoy or don't. Break Down the Walls by 121, 1998 album, When the Dragon is Finally Laid to Rest. Thanks, guys, and take care.
Wake up to the fact when they get Look at the wolves, look at the wolves, look at the wolves.